Good morning as we go to the Chitas of today. Today is Friday. We are holding the sixth portion of Tazria. And the Torah continues to tell us of the laws of Seiras, which is a spiritual leprosy over here that affects the body in a physical way. And it's connected to the pronouncement of the Kohen, who will pronounce the leprosy as Tameh or Tahor. So we're holding on chapter 13, verse number 40. Yishki marid reishe kereachu. If a man loses his hair on the back of his head, he starts to become bald. That doesn't mean a tzaras. He is tahor. The Rashi clean of the uncleanness of a nesek, of a lesion, meaning this case is not judged by the signs of the head and the beard, which are places of the hair. Rather, it's judged by the signs of the lesion on the skin of the flesh, namely white hair, healthy flesh, or spread, as we learned last whole week. Signs of impurity is a lesion that has within a white hair, around it healthy flesh, or near to healthy flesh, and something that spreads. If he loses his hair on the side of his sides, towards his face, he is bald at the front. So becoming bald is not a sign of leprosy, this leprosy. Rashi says the area for the slope of the crown towards the one's face is called gabachas, forehead, and included in these are the temples on the sides of the temples of the front of the head. The area for the slope of the crown towards one back is called karachas. So you have karachas. So the middle of the head, from the front, is called the concept of gibeach, and the other pasuk mem, verse 40, karachas is from the back, the middle to the back. So neither balding from the front or balding from the back is the concept of tzaras. Problem is in 42, if there's a reddish, you have a scab, a reddish lesion on the back or the front of the bald area. Tzaras parachasi, it's spreading. Tzaras. Then you have a lesion in your karachas or your gabachas, either balding of your back or the balding of the front. So Rashi says this is a lesion of blending of red and white. How do we know that the lesion is also unclean if it has other colors? Because scripture says, like the appearance of tzaras of the skin of the flesh, meaning of appearing like tzaras dealt with, we learned before, it doesn't have to be red. The man sees a sa'es, a pachas, a beheres, all these expressions in the Torah we learned already, all as long as it's deep into the skin. The coloration gives it deep into the skin. The man sees a sa'es, a pachas, a beheres on the skin of the flesh, and is what is stated regarding the skins, the lesion of the skin. The one becomes unclean through it if it appears 4 shades, namely snow white of beheres, white as lime in the temple is a secondary form. 3, the white of wool is a sa'es, and the white of a membrane covering of the egg is a secondary sapachas. So you have 4 different shades of white in the Torah. 4 different shades. And all of them come deeper. When you put it against the hand, the flesh, they go deeper. And it's judged with the possible 2 weeks of quarantine, and not like not like the appearance of tzaras stated concerning inflammation areas or burns, which is judged with the only 1 possible week of quarantine. It also like appearance of a nesek lesion, which are tzaras found in a hairy place, which become unclean through the 4 shades of mentioned above. So you need to know the differences of shades of these tzeiras. Verse 43. So then the kohen shall look at it, and behold, there's a reddish white se'es lesion on his back or front bald area. Like the appearance of tzeras, the skin of flesh. Ish tzaruahu, this person is a matzaira. Tamayu, he's impure. Tamayitmeno, he shall be called impure. Hakoyim berosh nigai, in the lesion of his head. I know Rashi says, I know only these laws apply those stricken with Nesek lesion, the tzaras of the head. From where do I know to include the other afflicted people? Therefore, Scripture says, Tama Yitmena shall surely pronounce him unclean. A double expression comes to include them all, any kind of area. Concerning them all, says his garment shall be torn. Verse 45, if a person has a tzaras to whom there is a lesion, the God from him, his garment shall be torn. And his head shall be unshorn. He shall cover himself down to his mustache. Unclean, he shall be called out. Unclean, unclean. So he has to go into a state of mourning. A matzaira goes into a state of mourning, like a mourner. That's why he tears his garments, like a mourner. Parum and Karuyim. Faruim Megalos, he also grows his hair like a mourner. He cover himself down to his mustache like a mourner. He covers himself. He goes humble. He becomes humbles. Tzvasam, the hair of his lips doesn't cut any hair of his body. With Tamei Yiki announces that he is unclean, so that everyone should stay away from him. And our sages says here was a person who spoke Lashon Hara. He was busy talking to everybody, and now he cannot talk to anybody. Verse 46, as long as he has a lesion, as long as he's tamei, he's unclean. Badad Yeshev, he has to go into isolation. And this is not isolation in your house. He has to go out of the 3 camps. In the desert, it was out of the 3 camps. From where he lives. As Rashi is going to tell us. He shall dwell isolated, meaning that other unclean people not stricken with tzaras shall not abode with it. Our sage says, why is he different from other unclean people? That he must remain isolated? He's not even live with people that are unclean. Since with his slander, he caused separation, a rift between man and his wife, or between man and his fellow man. He shall be separated. This rationale is based on the premises that a person is stricken with tzaras as a result of talking Lashon Hara, speaking derogatory of others, although he may even be telling the truth. Out of the 3 camps of Israel, namely the camp of the Shekhinah, he's not allowed to come to the camp where the temple was. He's not allowed to go into the camp of the Levites which surrounded the temple. And he has to leave the camp of Israel. He has to move out of the city. Now the Torah goes into another law of tzaras. Tzaras of a beged. A beged here by nega tzaras, if a garment to have a lesion of tzaras upon it. The beged at seme, whether it's a woolen garment, beged at pishtin, or a linen garment. Or on the threads prepared to wrap, or on the woof of the linen, or on the wool, or on the leather, or any made garment of leather. So that's or linen or wool. This refers to leather, upon which no work has been performed. And then the next one is b'chalechasar. This refers to leather upon which the work has been performed. Verse 49, if the lesion on the garment of the leather or the wrap of wolf threads or any leather article is deep green or deep red. Nega tzarasi, that's a lesion of tzaras. You shall bring it to the kohen. Tzaras is deep green. Yerakrak is deep green, the greenest of green. Adamdam is the reddest of red. That's why it's like a double expression. Adamdam. Adam is red. Yarak is green. Yerakrak is greenish green, reddish red. Verse 50. And the kohen will look at this nega. He'll tell him to take the garment and lock it up for 7 days. And the nega and the kohen will see the nega on the 7th day. And he sees that it's spreading. Everything, remember, when it comes to this tzaras, it needs to spread. Whether it's in the garment or the roof or the wrap or the threads. Or in any kind of leather, this is tzeras mameres hanega tameyu. This is the lesion of the malgin. Tzeras. Now she said, tzeras mameres is an expression similar to pricking. Point of old English, stinging, pricking. Medrash explains it, place a curse ma'ara upon it. The item afflicted with tzaras, you shall not derive benefit from it. Mameres, it's afflicted. Verse 45, verse 52. Start of it's a beged. That's why you have to destroy the beged. If the beged is called tameh, you have to destroy the beged. You shall burn the garment. Or you should see whether it's a wrap or threads. But whether it's wool or linen. Or any leather article that has this lesion. Kitzaras ma'meresi. Malagin tzaras, and therefore be'eshti sarif, it shall be burnt in fire. Now she says, but semere b'pishin and wool or linen. The bays, which is usually mean in, here means of. This is a simple meaning. And the Midrash explains, however, the word babeged, batsem, and pishtin can be understood as literally, and he shall burn the garment in the wool or in the linen. Thus, one might think that when burning the clean garment, one is required to bring wool shearing and stalks of flax and burn them along with them. Scripture therefore says at the end of the verse, for it shall be burnt in fire, meaning it alone. It does not require anything else to burn along with it. If so, why does Scripture say the wool or the linen to exclude for the requirement to burn the edges if they are of another material? Imris means edges. And what it means borders. If there's another material, you can take it off and not burn it with that garment. Verse 53 of the kohen, you're going to bring to the kohen the 7 days. And behold, the lesion has not spread. Not spread in the garment or in the wool and the leather articles. The kohen shall order, he shall wash. That was the lesion is upon, and shall quarantine it for another 7 days. One might think that one needs to wash the area of the lesion alone. Scripture, Rashi says, Scripture therefore says that the lesion is upon, meaning the garment which the lesion is found. If so, one might think that the entire garment needs to wash. Scripture therefore says after the lesion has been washed, teaching us that only the lesion must be washed, not the entire garment. So how do we reconcile the apparent discrepancies? You must wash part of garment with it. So he doesn't have to wash the whole garment. He needs to wash the lesion and part of what's around the lesion with the lesion. And that completes the Chumash of today. We now go to the Tanya of the day. We are in the middle of chapter 39 of Tanya. Hence the Alter Rebbe now continues. It is only God that it's only the godliness in the contracted Chabad that creates the Bria can grasp and absorb. And even then only to the extent of their limited capacity. So it's only the light of Chabad in its pristine state as in Atzilus is beyond them. So whatever they receive, the world of Bria, we learned a little bit about Tzimtzum, the concept of the way how the neshamas, how even the souls of the righteous have the capacity and capability to receive, and ultimately as we go to Shabbos, it says all souls, even the souls of Gan Eden Atachten, the lower level of Gan Eden, go up on Shabbos to Gan Eden Elyon, to the higher level of Gan Eden. And how does this soul go up to the Olam Habriya, to the world of creation? How is it possible for the world of creation and the souls of the world of creation to receive this light? Is only the contraction that gives this capability for the souls of the world of Bria to be able to receive a hora, which is called a ray of the light that is shining, only a ray of the light. But the light itself is beyond the souls of the world of Bria. Symptoms do this contraction, which Chabad, Chochmah, Bina, Das, wisdom, knowledge of Atzilus, undergoes in order to radiate in the world of Bria. This is the causes the souls of the world of Bria to be illuminated by the glow of Chabad of Ein Sof, the Chabad of the world of Atzilus. It is this contraction that enables them to have some perception of the light of Ein Sof. But the opposite is the world of Atzilus. That in the world of Atzilus, the light is not so contracted. In the world of Atzilus, where Chabad is not contracted so great degree, it's impossible for human comprehension to grasp anything there. And therefore, that light needs to be contracted. To such a degree, the explanation is, for the very fact that there being spheres, individual defined categories, indicates that Chabad are merely contracted, limited manifestations to the undefiable Ein Sof. The degree of contraction, however, is much less than that in Bria. And therefore the creatures of Bria, souls of Bria, cannot receive intellectual illumination for Chabad of Atzilus. It has to be contracted. That's why there's an expression, less machshava tvisa b'sham klal. There's no thought cannot grasp there at all. Meaning, the thought of an intellect of created beings, of Bria, can in no way grasp the light of the radiated Atzilus. Therefore, there are souls in the world of Atzilus. There are souls in the world of emanation. And that is souls of tzaddikim gemurim. That is souls of great tzaddikim. Tzaddikim gemurim, not as tzaddik. Remember, we learned at the beginning of Tanya that we have tzaddikim and we have tzaddikim gemurim. There are many tzaddikim in the world. But the Bnei Aliyah are those that are tzaddikim gemurim, that are in a totally different realm than even the regular tzaddik that's walking around. Service of a tzaddik gomer, services of whose service to God is far superior even to fear and love derived from understanding and knowing of His greatness. That tzaddik, those tzaddikim serve the Eibishter not because of love and fear of God. They're far beyond that concept. Just like in the world of Atzilus itself, transcends by far the level of understanding and knowledge of created being. So what is their service? These tzaddikim are like a chariot. They're like the chariot. They are a conduit like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu. Tzaddikim like Moshe. And there's Moshe Rabbeinu in every generation, that Arizal says. There needs to be a tzaddik in every generation. So every generation has a tzaddik gomer, that his service is not even the service of intellectual, emotional connection to God. It's pashut, batul, and mavutal. They are like a chariot to God. The total batul mitzias. Now it's hard to even comprehend what the meaning of such a person is. The batul of a mitzias, nullifying their very existence. And to become incorporate with God. All that they possess within this life. Al-Qiyam Torah mitzvahs, through the observance of Torah mitzvahs. Al-Derech Shamra, as the Zohar writes, Ha'avis, if you want to give an example to such kind of people, these were the patriarchs and the matriarchs. These are the patriarchs and the matriarchs who were a merkava to God. Ha'avis hein ha-merkava. The patriarchs saying they themselves constitute divine chariot. That's a tzaddik. He's a divine chariot. Not that they had moments of relationships, moments of intellectual connections. Their whole life was totally connected. Throughout their lives. So these neshamas that come, these tzaddikim gemurim, these complete righteous people that come down to the world, that are pashut, they are a chariot of God in this world. They reach up, their neshamas reach up to the world of Atzilus, to the world of emanation. Higher than even Gan Eden Elyon, higher than even the Gan Eden, that the paradise of the higher level of paradise, the world of Bria, these tzaddikim reach up to the world of Atzilus. And that completes Tanya of today. Today, in the Hebrew calendar, is the 29th and 30th day. We have a double day because tomorrow is one day, there's Chodesh. Tomorrow is the first day of the month of Nisan. So today we say from chapter 140 till the end of the book, till chapter 150. So from chapter 140 to chapter 150, you would do Tanya, the Tillim of the day, which would complete the whole Chitas of the day. I want to wish you all a wonderful and beautiful Erev Shabbos. As we go into the day of Shabbos, I hope you all will learn the Chumash and the Tillim and the Tanya tomorrow by yourselves. And the Tillim, you'll say Mitzvah chapter, starting from chapter 1 to chapter 9. And that you'll do the Chitas tomorrow. It's also a very special day tomorrow. Tomorrow is Shabbos, and it's just Chodesh, and it's Shabbos HaChodesh, the first month of the year. In the months, it's a very special day. We take out 3 Sefer Torahs. It's very unusual, and says it's a very opportune time for great things to happen to you, and you should have good things in mind when you come to go to shul tomorrow, wherever you are. Make sure to make sure to go to shul tomorrow and be in shul when they open the ark for the 3 Sefer Torahs, which happens very, not very often in the shul on a regular Shabbos. So make sure to be there tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. Be in shul tomorrow before the reading of the Torah when they open the ark. It's an opportune time to ask by God for all things that are needed. And the most important thing that we should ask for is it should come to enter this gullus. Mashiach should come and there should be peace and harmony in the world. And there should be this galus, the revelation of God in the world, be able to say, oh, that's Olam Atzilas, that's Olam Abriya, that's Olam Yitzira. We'll be able to see all these spiritual concepts.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.